Back in the 90s, there were different software development groups that were trying new stuff, new ways of working, right? They were organizing better, they were much closer to their clients, trying to deliver often, focus on actually delivering value, right? Understanding that things are much more dynamic than how we used to deal with them, right? So rejecting long plannings for longer executions, right? And the leaders of those groups, or some of the leaders of those groups, they were interacting. We already had the early days of the internet back then, right? But also conferences and different practices, methods, frameworks, and even methodologies emerged from that. All right. So in 2001, uh, someone scheduled a meeting in a ski station in Utah, the United States. The station was called Snowbird. Invited a lot of people to discuss about those different ways of working, and 17 of them were there. Right? We have here a list of those 17, and among them, we can see the creators of Scrum. You have Ken Schreiber and Jeff Sutherland there. One of the first users of Scrum, which is Mike Biddle, who unfortunately is not among us anymore. I knew Mike, I knew him well actually. We also have other interesting and relevant people that were there in that meeting, like, for example, the creator of Extreme Programming, Kent Beck, and some of the kind of co-creators like Ron Jeffries. We have the author of the of the first book about Agile, which is Alistair Coburn. Uh, and other interesting names, right? So you know what a wiki is, right? The wiki concept, the one that is used for Wikipedia, for instance, right? So Ward Cunningham, who was there, was the creator of this concept, for instance. Very interesting. And some other relevant names like James Greening, the inventor of Playing Poker. He wrote an article about it, and some other interesting and relevant names. Well, so those people, they met. They were there in this meeting for a few days, and I had the opportunity to talk to some people who were there, and they all say that at first they couldn't agree on much. They were talking about their techniques, their methods, and though some had similarities, so for instance, extreme programming used a lot of Scrum stuff, right? But they were different, right? And at some point, on the last half of the last day, one of them, I believe, raised his hand and said, "Look, let's not talk about our methods, our tools. Let's discuss our common values," right? And then another one of them, Martin Fowler, he came to a board and started interacting with people and facilitating this interaction and writing on the board and talking to them and writing on the board. And then together they came up with what we know today as the Agile Manifesto. So there are a few interesting things about this manifesto, right? Um, First thing, they describe it as an ongoing work. We are uncovering better ways. We hadn't found out and it's there. We already know everything, right? We don't have it there, right? The second thing, which is in the last part of the manifesto, they say there is value on the right, but we value the items on the left more. So there is value on processes, tools, documents, contracts, and plans, but it do value whatever's on the left more. We value the individuals and how they interact. The quality of their interactions is the important thing here, right? And we're talking about every individual involved in product development, right? From the team to stakeholders to users, right? So, and they say working software, we can extend it to products and even products and services, right? So what they say here in this second value is that although there is value on documents or any artifacts that we might create, like prototypes, for instance, right? Or drafts or whatever, right? What really matters here is the working thing, is the thing that generates value. Whatever else we produce is not value, is a means to generate value or a promise of value, maybe, right? Sometimes we use that as progress. Oh, so we are 30% done. We created all the documents. But what value have you created? What part of the problem have you solved? none, then it's zero progress actually. Okay? What we care about is generating value, solving the problem. Customer collaboration. So collaborating with customers so that we can generate value for them, so that we can generate value for us. That's the point here. We should not treat the customer as an undesired part of the process or even as the enemy, right? We gotta educate and involve the customer in the process so they can be part of value generation. And finally, responding to change, right? You see, here we're saying we don't create one big plan and just simply follow it. We plan often according to the reality that is presented to us, right? So we don't pretend we know everything that's going to happen. Things not only change, but things emerge, right? We don't know everything that's going to happen beforehand. We don't even know how our clients, our customers will behave with something that we've delivered to them. We don't. We can pretend we do. We can create great hypotheses about that. But those are just hypotheses, right? So we need to be able to respond to that and to wherever changes happen in the market. So those are the Agile values. This is the well-known Agile Manifesto that you will find on agilemanifesto.org. Okay, it's there. It's on the internet, and you'll find it in different languages.